Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I better not say you not a man.
That's it.
And it's hard to say now, former Longhorn Diamontè Tucker-Dorsey, just call him Tuck.
Yes,
all the way from Norfolk, Virginia. Great story. We're going to, by the end of this episode, Tuck, there's going to be some people inspired. We're going to have abs from laughing, everything. But, man, I appreciate you making time for this.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you having me. It's an honor.
This, before we get going, I definitely want to give a shout out. You see it on the top banner, Jim Saxton, State Farm. Jimmy he's a former Longhorn QB, defensive back, a Longhorn legacy. His dad was a Heisman finalist way back when during the Darrell Royal years. And, Jim Saxton has been insuring Austin for, I hate to age him like this, but for 3 decades. And for all those insurance needs, give Jimmy a call.
Shout out, Jim.
He definitely bleeds burnt orange. But, man, I don't know where to start, but I love the beauty of college athletics now is finally the transfer portal allows constant movement and then NIL. But the NIL, but mainly the transfer portal is really a big significant piece of your path to Austin. I mean, where do you start, James Madison, or do you want to start back in Norfolk?
We can start back in Norfolk. How did I? Yeah, maybe we do need to start at JMU. Yeah, man, I was a under-recruited guy, being being a smaller guy at my position, playing linebacker. In high school, I was probably about 205, playing at 5'9.5", 5'10" on a great day. I kind of grew as I got older to that to 5'10", but under recruited, but very productive at my time in school, in high school. But I don't even necessarily think I was under recruited. I just think I was unknown.
Right.
Because I came up in the era when Twitter really started to be social media really started to come on. And I just was kind of behind the curveball on it, so I didn't go to a lot of the camps. I didn't get the exposure.
Right.
And I think that was the reason why I was under recruited. Not because you turn the tape on, it was great. So that was kind of the result. Being under recruited of not just being unknown. Got my James Madison offer. That was the first offer that I got in my junior year. I went on a junior day, and. Great experience. I'll never forget it, man. We was all eating, and they came on a loudspeaker, and they Diamontè Tucker-Dorsey, just come up, you're gonna go meet with the coaches. And they said that on the loudspeaker. So I'm like, huh?
What?
I was so unexpected, and then I got up there, me and Coach Houston, we was having a conversation, and he was just telling me about the program and how much they liked my game. And he was like, after he did his spiel or whatever, he was like, "Do you have any questions?" And my homeboy was with me. I didn't have any questions, but it was me, my mom, and one of my other homeboys. And I was like, "No." And he was just like, "Well, my homeboy, he was just like, well, you gonna throw him an offer?" And he was like, "Are you ready to commit?" And I was like, "Oh, for real?" So that was a great experience. I didn't commit that day, but I knew I was going there. I knew I was going there from the jump, man. So. That's how I got to James Madison, man. And it took me a while once I got there to kind of, learn the ropes of the game and get out my own head and get out my own way. Just like a lot of young guys go through, or young people in the first place. But so took about junior year to get it right. Freshman year, I redshirted, had the most fun that I ever could have. Really enjoyed that. Sophomore year, I got in my own way. and I knew that. So I was on the scout team again, and that kind of put me in a bad spot as far as, it was because of me. I couldn't have nobody to blame it on. I think that's the worst thing that that can happen to you when it's your fault. You have nobody else or nothing else to blame it on. So that's when you really got to do some soul searching, looking in the mirror and taking accountability. So I vowed that next year that I was going to get on the field one way or the other, and I was going to force them to put me on the field. And I was playing behind a guy who was an All-American, so I knew I wouldn't be starting. But I didn't care if I was starting or not. They was going to play me. So I played special teams my sophomore year, but I was on scout team. Junior year, I was playing so well that they literally created a package named after me. Literally called the Tuck package. And so that's when I was coming in on third downs, basically like a QB spy. And, I was very productive in that role. And then fourth year comes and COVID hits.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So my first year starting, COVID hit, season gets canceled. Then we end up playing in the spring, and I played okay. Definitely not to my standard, but given a global pandemic, that not really too bad. So then that next year, I kind of reevaluated myself, looked at, what I was doing and what I wasn't doing, and, kind of had a vision of the type of player that I wanted to be. And I came up with this way of living, system of life. And it's 3 words and 2 phrases. I'm talking my head off. You good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's 3 words and 2 phrases, man. It's intent, purpose, and consistency, and controlling what you can control and blind faith. And I figured that if I adopt this way of living, I give myself the best chance to be successful. And what I mean by that is if my intention is there and everything that I do, I put my best foot forward and I do it in a way that it will yield the result that I want out of it, then I'm doing the best thing that I can. I'm controlling what I can control. And then, purpose. I got to do this not only for myself, but it got to be something that, is bigger than the wins and the losses. It's bigger than, the rewards, the hardships. It got to be bigger than all of that because I have to keep going. I need something to make me, make my motor run when I'm successful and make my motor run when I'm at the bottom. And then consistency. Consistency is what's going to separate you. And not only will it separate you, but it will build confidence in myself. I was able to not worry. I took all the thinking out because I've done it. I put the work in. It's repetitive. Now I'm running on autopilot. I don't have to think about what I'm doing anymore. I know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and I've done it 1,000 times. So now it's just muscle memory. And then those 3 things is me controlling what I can control. And then there's so much other things that you can't control, like a COVID, like being my height. I can't control those things. So whatever's gonna happen, I leave that up to God. And I just rocked out like that. And I was All-American that season, had my best season ever. And that led me to have the opportunity to come play at the University of Texas. Entered the transfer portal, blew up. I was number 2 when I first got in because Jordan Addison was still in the portal. Then once he left, I think he left like the second day he committed. I was number 1. So that was really fulfilling for me, man, just understanding that finally, after all those years, I kind of got the recognition that I felt like I deserved for the type of player that I was. And that's what brought me here to the great city of Austin.
And that's a beautiful story, and you really got when the transition happened from Tom Herman to Coach Sark and that staff. I mean, you got to be a part of something that was building. And now it seems, and we'll get into that in the second segment about the football side, that now you kind of stated it. You've put some roots down. I mean, I know that you can never say definitively you'll stay in Austin, but you're in a great place. And that's why so many of us stay here.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity. And then you kind of mentioned it, living intentionally. I mean, I love how it's not so much philosophizing on life, but a lot of people are still learning how to live with intentions. But how do you do that? It has to be a daily routine. What is your daily routine to live intentionally?
So it starts within, right? So for me, I'm a black man. You know, I had to see my history. Like, I feel like in order to completely, fully understand yourself, you got to know your history and where you come from and what your people been through. And for me, once I understood it, I was able to now say, okay, I want different for myself. I want, you know, different for the people that in my family and in my community. How am I going to do that? So that's kind of where my purpose starts. Okay, and now I understand my purpose is to give back to the community and affect the community, influence the community, the people around me, because I'm in a position to do so. People are watching. People watch me all the time. Right. People look up to me. So with that comes great responsibility. So that right there, it grounds me. Yeah. Now I know why I'm here, what I'm here to do, and what I'm trying to accomplish. So, okay, once I understand the goal, how do I get there? What's the best path? What's the best way to do that? And on my path there, who do I want to be? And you know, then I start looking at, you know, what kind of character traits do I want to have, and you know, what do I value? And then once I get that together, now I walk in that. You know, I want to be somebody that is accountable. I'm huge on respect. I value education. I value accountability, responsibility. And, you know, so that's kind of what put me on that path to kind of live intentionally, because I know the type of person I want to be. I know where I'm going, and I don't necessarily know the exact path, but I know the destination. So whatever it takes to get there, whatever I have to go through, as long as it's going to get me to go there, I'm going to go through it. So that's kind of how I do it.
See, and one thing that, you know, I'm still working on as a 50-year-old man now. It's hard to even admit that now, but at the same time, you said the word grounded. Like that's like a seesaw. It's the life. You can't be balanced every day, but you're trying to find that balance. What if you were to offer me or whoever's watching and listening, how do you gain that balance? How do you become grounded?
So I don't try to be balanced. Life isn't about balance. If you think about it, when is your life? What would you consider balance, right? Life is I feel like life has a balanced scale to where you're gonna have as much good as you have, you're gonna have as much bad as equally to it, right? So I invite adversity. So that's what keeps me grounded, because I know when adversity comes, something greater is coming on the outside of that. And then when the good stuff comes, I have to be humble enough and, you know, understand that I still have to have the same habits that got me to that good stuff, that got me to the success, to keep going and keep growing. Like, for me, it's all about the growth aspect of life and not necessarily being rooted in the results, because you're going to win, you're going to lose. It happens all the time. You know, so once you understand and accept both of those, what's in the middle of that? Your habits, the type of person you are, your character. Like I said, it goes back to that. But you have to understand who you are, where you came from, and what you're trying to get out of life.
No, that's profound, in my opinion. What we believe is profound is something that in your world, it seems like when it becomes routine, that's not uncommon for you, because you it's routine, and that's I think football. And I'm not trying to say that anyone who was not an athlete, they're not equipped or built for life. People can train their minds, everything in routines, but I know this is cliche life lessons from football, but it sounds to me like that has been a major part of you figuring out life, because you're still a very young man, and
I am.
To think and speak the way you are about your vision, that is wise and mature beyond your current number of years. And then some of it's got to come from football, it seems like.
Let's see. As far as my purpose goes, I don't think it comes from football.
Okay.
Not at all. Just I won't say that. It doesn't come from football, but football definitely was the driving force. It was the tool that I used to get. Because I tell people all the time, I feel like I've been a grown man thinking for myself. I've been conscious. I woke up at 10 years old. Like, I know how the world would work at 10 years old. So once I understood my situation, I always seek, like, why am I in this situation, and how can I get out, and how can I help others get out? So that was always my driving force. Like that was always my driving force. Football was just an outlet for me at first, and it allowed me to express myself in a way that I couldn't, dealing with the stuff that I was dealing with at home. It allowed me to get out some of that stuff. And then once that happened, I just was good at it. And once I became good at it, I recognized the opportunity in it. And for me, I've always tried to take myself outside of the situation and look at it for what it is and not what I want it to be. So I got my welding license. Like whatever, like I said, my goal is, I know what it is. So whatever it takes to get there, I was going to get there regardless of football, real estate, welding, I got my degree in public policy and administration. Whatever it is, that has to get done right. So I don't care what tool I was going to use. It was just football was the best thing for me at that time. And it was going to provide the best opportunity for me to not only progress myself, but it put me on a platform and gave me a reach that I wouldn't have, if I didn't do that. So life lessons, though, as far as football go and how I apply it, is just understanding that I'm a part of something that's bigger than me. And I have a standard of, I'm representing, when I represent them, I have a standard of, representation that I should have, and understanding that the world doesn't revolve around me. In order for me to be successful, we got to be successful. So that's the people around you. That's my circle. That's your family. That's your coworkers, your boss. In the football world, your coach. Everybody's success depends on each other. So that is the biggest thing that I've taken away from it. Like, be humble enough to understand the world doesn't revolve around you.
That's true.
It doesn't revolve around you at all. And I think that's the biggest thing, just teamwork, like understanding that you're a part of something much bigger than yourself.
No, that's significant, especially in this day and age. And it's not, I hate when people say, well, it's the millennials or Gen Z. No, we're in the world of social media where if you allow it, and I think we've all been guilty to an extent, I'll admit it. If you create your own world, but then you got to get down to earth and read what reality is.
Yes.
The world is not about you and irresponsible opinions. You
look like this. Like, I always, when I think about the world and I think about myself, I think about, like, have you ever been on a plane and when you're coming down the land, or when you're taking off, how small everything gets? You realize how big the world is. It's just like, you really, at the end of the day, you don't really matter.
Insignificant.
You don't really matter to the whole grand scheme of the universe. The world is so big. So once you understand that, I think, you try to be the best version of yourself while, helping others on the way to that. That doesn't mean be a people pleaser and try to do what everybody else tells you to do, but just be considerate and understand this is not about you. It's not about you. It is, but it's not. Like, it's if you get it, you get it.
That is so true. I mean, there's some days where I have to, I'll be honest, I have to check myself that just because I feel a certain way, it's not going to give me the positive results or to meet a certain goal. And so you figured out a lot that people take years to try to figure out, or trying to go down that path to figure out how to go from point A to maybe point Z.
Right.
And you mentioned it, building a brand. This is all self-made, obviously, through your own education and your life experiences, for a Longhorn to a Realtor. Now, I know people can say, oh, you're in Austin, there are tons of Realtors. That's true.
Yes.
But there's a small percentage of said Realtors who are really putting in the work and building a reputation and brand the right way. And and right here, you're well on your way. What has been the biggest hurdle in this, what a lot of people say, a robust market, even though the market is a little challenging temporarily right now?
Yes. Biggest hurdle for me personally, just being new. Everything is new. So I'm kind of in the middle of the ocean trying to figure out how to get to shore. That's how it was at first. But I have an awesome team backing me up. And obviously one of the greatest minds in real estate ever that I can, fall back on and rely on. So that's been a blessing. But I think the biggest thing is just learning the business and getting trying to not necessarily change who I am as a person, but just getting people to see me more as a realtor and not a football player. I think that's been the biggest challenge. And at first I tried to do like a whole complete change. Like, I'm a realtor. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is who I am. You know, don't ask me about it. But then I had to stop doing that and kind of like, you know, just mix it in. Like, I am who I am. Football is a part of me. I can never take it back. So stop running from it and embrace it. And since I've done that, I've seen a much more positive impact in my business. And, you know, I feel better about myself too.
Yeah.
You know? So that was probably the biggest thing, just trying to change from being seen as a football player to now being seen as a realtor. But now I kind of use it like I'm a retired football player that is a realtor. I don't want to separate the two no more.
Did you, before we go deeper into another layer of the real estate piece, but have you noticed now the power of being the power, the aura of being not only a UT alum from the institution you graduated from, but also being a Texas Longhorn football player for life? Because it is, a lot of people told me it's a title that you carry with you the rest of your life, that you represent.
That is the most. It's still, even still today, it's like so shocking how much it. And I love it. I love it. I love that I was blessed to be able to come play at that university and be a part of this family, because it does provide me with a lot of resources and a lot of people. Like, even like, it gives me an opportunity to do things like this. Like, you interested because of that, right? And I'm very thankful for that. And I will never take it for granted. And, you know, I'm going to use it to my advantage. I'm going to use it to my advantage. I'll tell you right now, I tell my customers all the time, or my clients all the time, you know, what separates me is I was able not only to attend the University of Texas, but I played football there. That means a lot. That means I have a lot more access to a lot of things, to a lot more people. My reach is long. So I can, you know, if you're selling your home, I can get you in front of a lot more buyers than the average realtor would, because I have interested people. So I wouldn't. It's like I said, it still surprises me every day how big that concept really is. But it's real. I promise you that.
It's going to only grow. And in fact, one of the members of the Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast family, Stevie Lee, former Longhorn defensive tackle, during his last year was the year before the national championship. He missed it out playing for it, but he has become really successful in his own right as a realtor as well. I love to connect you two.
Yes, please do. I would love
he's got a big heart, and I'm sure he would share a wealth of knowledge, kind of like you share a wealth of knowledge on Instagram, such as this small sample right here.
Yeah.
And today, interest rates is our opponent. So let me guess. You want to wait until interest rates go down just like everybody else, huh? Can I introduce you to the law of supply and demand? You should be buying a house right now because interest rates are higher, but supply in America is low, and that's what they don't tell you. That's what you don't see.
That's simple, brilliant, but I got to give it to you. I got to ask you this. So
what's up?
You have embraced the Texas culture with the felt hat, the cowboy hat. I like that. You're a Texan now.
Yes, sir.
But as far as you've noticed also, and I hear this all the time, and I used it kind of in my media career, you got to find a way to be yourself, find yourself, but be different and creative. And I hear the same things. So that is kind of the direction with all these platforms. I mean, you're distributing really good information, but how did you just hone in on like, okay, this is the route I need to go on all these platforms?
I have a lot of help. I'll be honest with you. They gave me a lot of ideas, and you know, somebody just said, like, you know, when I said I had to stop, you know, trying to separate the two. Yeah. Somebody told me that, because I told them, they was like, you know, how's your business going? What are you doing? I'm like, you know, I'm trying to change, you know, the image that I have. And they like, no, you're doing it wrong. Like, you're completely wrong. Stop doing that. Never do that. Be exactly who you are. Mix it, and that'll put you where you need to be. And that like really made sense to me because like I said earlier, I know who I am. I'm very grounded in that. And for me to try to change that was going against everything that I believe in as a man. So I was like, duh. And then it kind of just turned into what it has been lately, like for the last month and a half, 2 months, just trying to just be me and stop trying to be somebody that I'm not. And I think that's just, you learn and you live and you learn, and I'm still very new. So that was a aha moment for me.
Yeah, that's growth. Hey, remember, this is what I like to say, and it took me a while to learn this, that life is very much like going to bat in baseball. If you succeed 30% of the time,
you're good.
Hitting the ball, you're good. You're golden, right?
You're good. And I think that's life is very simple, man. And like just going off kind of what you just said, you're gonna lose a lot more than you're gonna win. You're gonna lose a lot more than you're gonna win, but it's on purpose because it prepares you for those wins. Like when that big wins come, you done lost so much. Now you're gonna have a better attachment to it. Versus somebody just gives you something, you don't really appreciate it the same way. But when you've been through some stuff and you put the work in and you had the low days where you feel like you want to quit, once you win, you're gonna be like, you're gonna get a feeling inside. Yeah, you're gonna keep going. It's gonna make you keep going too. So you're totally right.
That motivation, it's rewarding. So you study the market, you look at a lot of numbers that a lot of us are not privy to. Research, because you're trying to. I hate to use a cliche athletic term or maybe football, but trying to find that an edge and information to benefit your client.
Right. If
anyone, you pick up some new clients right now, and I hope you do. I hope you gain a lot out of this.
Yes, I do.
What could you tell them? What could you tell them about this market over the next 6 months? Because I think I can tell you, just because I'm trying to sell one right now, a home, a property, patience.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on, that when people ask that question, how's the real estate market? It always depends. It depends on your situation and you personally. So it's not a general answer that I can give. And I think that's where a lot of people get construed from the media, because they think that if one thing applies like as a global thing, these are averages, right? Yeah. But it's always specific to your market and the market that you're in. And it always depends on your financial situation and your financial goals and your life goals, because real estate, this is a life-changing decision. This is wealth building. Yeah. This is a huge decision. So it's all dependent on you and where you're at. So if you have that question and you really want to know the answer, what you need to do is talk to a professional, a real estate agent, and figure out what it is exactly for you, because I can't give you an answer that's going to make you say, oh, like, it's not going to be beneficial, because I'm going to give you a general answer because I'm going to tell you what the market is doing. But for you, it could mean something completely different because your situation is unique to you.
So you're in a very strange market, strange in a most positive way, because you saw home values do this from 8.5. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm far from the expert. I'm making surface level observations from after COVID. It was like this gradually, 21, 22, and now it's kind of leveled out. How do you do if someone is ready to buy or sell a home? What do you tell them about the market in Austin right now and the forecast that would be rather educating, so to speak?
So if somebody wants to buy or sell right now, again, it's specific to you. But as far as the market goes, it's real estate is always a good investment. It's going to go back to the supply and demand, interest rates, inflation, that all plays a factor. Austin is a growing city, the fastest growing city in America. So your property is going to appreciate if you want to buy something here. And if you bought something here a couple years ago, or literally a couple years ago, or maybe 5 to 10 years ago, it's worth a lot more than when you bought it. So like I said, it just depends on you and your situation. But Austin is growing. It's the fastest growing city in America. That is a fact. Over the last 10 years, I think we're up like 10,000 more than the next person.
Wow.
Next city. It's a growing city, so this is a great time to buy in Austin because we have so much development going on. I haven't lived here for that long, but everybody that tells me that is from here always says, "Oh, it's changed so much." Well, why is that? Because it's growing. What does growth mean? Jobs are coming. What does jobs mean? That means people need somewhere to live, to work at the job. So there's going to be more real estate being built. As more real estate is being built, it's going to continue to grow. So, it just depends on you and your situation. But Austin is growing, and the more you wait, the more money you lose. That's to buy, because when you buy now, just like the video we were just talking about, it's simple. It's not really a game of bag of tricks that I can tell you that you can already understand. It's literally simple. So it just depends on you and your situation. But Austin is growing rapidly, and there is, there's a chance to build wealth here.
And would it be safe to say that real estate will always be the best investment as far as not quick return? I don't want to mislead, but it's always will be the best investment, correct?
Legally, I cannot tell you that, but yeah, I gotta protect myself. But home prices appreciate 4% over the history of over history. Over time, it tells us that real estate appreciates 4% year over year. So, what does that mean? If you buy a house for $1 million and it appreciate 4% every year, the longer you hold it, the more money you will make. But real estate appreciates over time. That is the known fact. You can check those numbers.
Hey, that's
the investment. But all the millionaires, they have real estate. So if you want to be a millionaire, you might want to get you some.
Let's get a few properties. We need some over here, over there. We need some over there near Liberty Hill.
The real estate pays for everything. So if you have a rental, you're renting out, you have a duplex or a triplex or something, the rental income from that is going to pay for all your expenses. Now, what can you do with your expenses? Go buy more assets. Real estate gives you freedom. Real estate gives you equity. Now you can borrow against it. And it also is like a savings account, because you have to pay yourself when you're paying your mortgage payments, because half of it's going to go to your premium and your principal, and then the other half is going to go to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's an automatic savings account.
No, it's
and you got tax benefits. I can go on and on.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and it's especially in a market like this, because it used to be, well, you have to be a certain age or stage of your life. No, I think anyone is smart right now, and I think that you could buy a home if you can between 18 and 21 or a property. I mean, this is just a great market. It seems like that would be.
It's so many ways to invest in real estate. You got fixing and flipping, you got buying and holding, you got wholesaling, you can buy foreclosures. It's so many ways, and you just got to educate yourself, obviously. But it's so many ways to make money in the real estate game that think about it.
Yeah,
I stopped playing football to go do real estate. I could have went to the NFL. I just decided not to. That should say a lot. But it's a lot of money in it for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And as you can tell Tuck's not lacking any personality. And that's one of the reasons he's going to succeed in this industry. And I've got a feeling that you're going to do many more things once you get this real estate off the ground. And
100%.
And be sure to follow him on Twitter, because I want to give you an example. I call it Tuck humor, but this is just who he is right here. Just simple. I love Austin. Austin loves me.
It does. Yep. We have a great relationship. We have a great relationship, man. I really mean that when I say that, man. Like, I think it means so much to me, because I played enough, but I didn't play a lot. And it's just surprising me, even still now, people stop me and know who I am. That for me is like, it's crazy. It's a surreal feeling, and it's a blessing to be able to, have people that's invested into what you got going on or what you had going on, and you had an impact on their life so much that they remember it And if they see you, they recognize you. That for me is like very fulfilling and lets me know that I'm doing stuff the right way, man. So I really mean that. I wasn't joking. I laughed because it was like funny to hear, but I really mean that.
No, I think it's very genuine. It's definitely who you are. And it goes to what Tuck just said. It goes to, I know there's only a few college football towns or college communities that are like this, and it speaks volumes, Tuck, because there's so many more people here who have no vested interest in Austin, except that they live here and they have no interest in UT, but yet they know who each and every one of you are, or they think they know.
Damn.
It's amazing. So dating back, it doesn't have to be football. There's been some legendary man cave stories on these episodes. We're on episode 285.
Mm-hmm.
I've been amused nonstop, and I've laughed pretty hard at a lot of these, and I think about some of these just randomly down the road. But is there one story that you can think of in your life, family, football, or even real estate now that is as comical now as when it happened?
You put me on the spot. I cannot. I don't know.
Speaking of humor, I got to show you this, and you can plead the fifth on this, but I can guarantee you that maybe at a younger age or maybe even recently, I don't know. Maybe this could apply to all of us potentially. Humor me on this one.
Man, yes, I had some time, man. Oh, I got a story.
You got a story?
When I was 21, I had a party. I had a big party for my birthday, man. And it was like, you ever seen Project X?
I never seen it in its entirety yet.
But it's like that. It was a party like that. So everybody was in there. Mind you, the party lasted only like 45 minutes at the most. So I'm in there having a great time. It's my 21st birthday. I'm drunk as a skunk. And I don't know what happened, but like so many fights started breaking out. The police come in and they pepper spray the entire party. We're all running around. And I had it at my apartment, but it was like in the clubhouse. So we all ran around, and the people that were with me, we all go back to my house. And my mom was there. So she started pouring milk on everybody, but it was like old milk out my refrigerator. Oh no. That's the only thing that was helping with the burning from the pepper spray. So that was insane. But yeah, it was a good party. That was
my God. Borderline spoiled milk.
Yeah, it got pretty bad. And what's so funny is I didn't even realize what was going on because I was so drunk. I didn't know until the next day why my lips were burning. Everybody was just telling me like, yeah, we got pepper spray. I'm like, oh, I just thought I was having, drunk experience.
Right. That's funny, man. That
was hilarious.
The morning after was something to remember too.
No question. Yeah. I had a lot of cleaning to do.
Oh my God. That's a good story. We all have good 21st birthday stories.
Yeah, that was one for the ages.
Oh my God. Let's take a quick break. I need to go get another beverage.
Okay.
These Austin allergies are real.
Yeah, I gotta go run to the bathroom right now.
Oh my God. So you get to see our guy Stevie Lee in an acting role for our one of our sponsors, Hargrove Roofing. And on the other side, we're going to talk about your Longhorns. I would love to get a Tuck opinion because I got a good feeling about this season.
I do too.
About this season, and that's coming up on the other side of this break.
Here at Hargrove Roofing, we try to think outside the box to kind of get the creative juices flowing. So I brought in my friend Stevie Lee, former defensive tackle for the Texas Longhorns. He's going to help the team strategize, really motivate them, light a fire.
This guy's going to block down. This guy's going to block down. You put your butt into the guard, and that way my Mike linebacker gets free to do what?
Not only are they going to learn a thing or two, but they're going to also leave with a great attitude and a bunch of smiles on their faces.
I'm sorry, what does this have to do with roofing exactly?
Get out.
Right now.
I said get out.
For me, that's what it's all about. It's just having fun, making our employees have a great time. Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
D-line ain't good, you don't got no team. I want to win an Natty. I want to win Big 12. I don't like the water, really. But I like to be on the lake. I like to be on the water. But I don't get in the water. I'm a KD fan. That's one of the reasons I came here. Because I always thought I was going to get to meet him.
You have yet?
No.
That's your boy.
That's my dog.
T'Vondre Sweat from Huntsville, Texas. That is a large human.
Yeah. He big.
So I got to ask you, T'Vondre, when you guys played Alabama last year, it was not a cool day, by the way.
No.
That was a safety, wasn't it?
That was a safety. Intentional grounding or something. That was crazy.
That was the wildest series of calls in that end zone. And T'Vondre, you guys were making plays all day. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, ESPN did their thing on that one. Whatever channel we was playing on.
Wow. T'Vondre is going to be a big part of that D-line that I think the D-line could be and probably will be one of the strengths of this team.
Definitely on the defensive side of the ball for sure.
I know, just looking back, there's a lot of pressure at Texas every year. I just got to ask you that. Is it what we think it is as a player? I mean, who wouldn't want to play for a program where you're expected to win?
I didn't really get a holistic experience because I was only there for the year, but I felt it because every game was like a big thing. Like even in the media, like even in the top media, like everybody was talking about us every game, and it was like after we lost a couple, I was like, they still talking about us. So, okay, this is serious. This is really serious. Like, and that was like, man, when we really turn this thing around and do something special, it could really mean a lot, to the world. And I kind of knew that coming, that it was like gonna be a big thing because I had always, heard about Texas, and I'm from Virginia, so I already kind of knew that that's how it would be, but I didn't know to the extent that it is because literally every game was a big game, and I don't care who we was playing. It was all a big game. So, I don't necessarily say the pressure or expectations got to us, but the atmosphere was definitely there.
I love hearing that from a player's perspective because everyone, as you know, everyone's an expert on the outside.
Yeah. Exactly right.
But as an athlete or competitor, you do want to play in those types of environments and be expected to do great things. But you got a taste of it last year, and you saw some of the younger talents. What do you see? I'm not going to predict anything. I'm not really good at predicting things. But what do you like about this team, and what do you think this team could possibly do?
I think the floor is Big 12 championship.
Okay.
I just seen them boys last week. I went to practice last week, and they just look. It's like it's time. It's time. You know what I'm saying? We done been through enough ups and downs over the last, I don't know what, has it been 10 years since they've been?
It's just 2009 was the last. Well, see, in 18 they played in the championship game, but
so like 5-6 years since we got to the standard that it should be played at, and I think that we have definitely the talent in the team to do so. And I think a third year with this staff, under the program, under the culture, that means everything. Like stuff takes time, and you have to give a staff time to develop into the program, into what they wanted it to be. And I think this is exactly, what they wanted to be. As far as offense, we have a unlimited, plethora of weapons. We have a lot of talent up front, a lot of returning talent, and they're young. So they're healthy as well. That's going to be huge. And then we got Quinn in his second year in the system, and he obviously he's different. You know what I'm saying? He cut his hair. He got a little different swagger to him. He's taking on a more of a leadership role. I think last year he was coming in, just trying to fit in, not necessarily fit in, just adjust, just gel with the team. Now he got his swagger back. Like this is my team, and now he's taking the keys to the car, and that's going to be huge. That right there alone is going to make a hell of a difference. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we have transfer that's going to come in and help right away. We got the best defensive player in the country. Then we got some unproven guys on the D line that are very, very good, and Byron Murphy and Byron Murphy and Barron Sorrell. Those two guys are going to have huge years for us. And then we have, some hungry guys at linebacker on the other side of Jaylen Ford and David Bender, who's going to, prove himself this year. He's been waiting 5 years, so you can only expect something good from that, just because he's been waiting. He's finally getting his opportunity to go out there and show what he can do. So that's very encouraging. And then our DBs, that's a top 5 DB group in the country. From top to bottom, Jade Barron. He's going to be great for us in the slot. We get Gilbo back. He was great for us last year as a freshman, so this is only going to be, another stepping stone for him. And I think Jade is going to, make his case for the NFL top 3 rounds this year. So it's very excited about that. Then we got Jaron Butler, Bug. And then he's going to have a great year as well because he's like he's a vocal leader out there. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see them boys do it, and I'm excited to get my fan experiences too. I can go to tailgate and all that stuff. So we win, we're gonna be good.
Hey, meet us over there at the occupied left field tent behind
you
the
have to show me. I don't know where nothing at. You gonna have to. You have to drop the location or something.
I will. It's I'm gonna tell you something. 2019 was the first time for me to ever be a fan. True, and it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Without going into details, I got a little irritated with a few things.
Yeah, it's a lot of people out there, man. I don't do too well with crowds, so I'm gonna have to adjust.
You're gonna enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. It's just acclimating. It's probably going. Next year was when you'll truly embrace it.
Yeah.
It's man. You talk about once an athlete, always an athlete. You got to learn there's a certain age where all right, I can't do this and that. But Kevin Hart learned this lesson the hard way. This is kind of the abbreviated version. Let's just say you try to race a former New England Patriots running back that's a friend of his.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart, in his own way, described, because currently he's in a wheelchair at the moment.
Yeah, I seen that.
Me and Steven, we got into a little debate. This debate was based off of who was faster. Those that know me know I'm pretty fast. Steven said, Kev, ain't no way you're going to beat me. Steven is an ex-NFL running back, played for the New England Patriots. 40-yard dash. Guys, I blew all my shit. Tore my lower abdomen. My abductors are torn. I don't even know what that is, but I tore them. I tore those two. I can't walk.
You know what's funny? I've been thinking about that video every day since I've seen it because I don't really do too much cardio. I still lift every day, but I do not run. So, yeah, I started running a little bit. They say if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, you lost it.
He lost
it. He tore. There are so many things in this general area below the belt that
it's not good.
We don't even know.
It's not good, man. Nothing good coming out of that.
Nothing. Well, Tuck, we love positivity in the man cave, and that's how we're going to end it with this.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
Which seems to be filled with a lot of negativity. I think there's more positive in this world than there is negative vibes. And you're looking at one guy, Tuck. That's a positive guy right there. But tell me something good in your world that may inspire or something that you're really excited about.
Man, I'm a simple man. I'm excited about the opportunity to learn, man. Education has been my new thing this year, and I encourage everybody to start reading. And I actually started a book club, and it's all about character development, financial literacy. I'm gonna say that one loud because that in this world that we living in right now, that's gonna be huge with the economy and everything. But character development and get an understanding of history and where you come from, and not just where you come from, but in order to understand where we're going in the world, and we are going somewhere, something is about to happen. You got to understand where we've been, and what led us to be where we are right now, and to see where we're going. So I'm huge on education, man. So if I had to leave y'all with anything, is to start educating yourself, start reading every day. I read every day for at least an hour. And that's new for me. Like, I wish I would have sent you a video. I used to do a podcast back when I was at JMU, and we would talk about reading. And my words in that video was, I would never read a book. And that was a true statement at that time in my life. But since the year has started, I'm on like I read 2 books at a time. So I'm on like 15th and 16th book. And it has changed my life, drastically as far as my development goes. And it gives me a sense of fulfillment, man. Right. It gives me something else other to do. So if I had to say anything, it would be, educate yourself. Your education doesn't stop when you're out of school. It actually is just beginning because they don't teach you anything of substance in school.
Yeah, I love it. I do love that because reading for me, it can be difficult. But which book are you on right now? That's it's really
right now. I just started The Richest Man in Babylon, and I'm reading what is the?
I want to get mine. I want to cut. Let me get this.
Yeah, Richest Man in Babylon. Oh, you said you got to do what? Good.
I had to go get it because I couldn't remember. It's a UT alum, actually.
Okay.
It's taken me 6 years to finally get a copy.
What is it?
Make Your Bed.
Okay.
It's William McRaven. He's a former admiral.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he came. Sark had him come and talk to us last year.
Did you leave impressed?
I did.
That's inspiring, man.
Yeah.
What he said so far through the first 68 pages are exactly what you're doing as far as habits.
It's all about habits. Life is all about habits, man. The wins and the losses gonna come, but if you're not, doing the things every day that get you to where you need to be,
right,
it don't matter, because it's like there's no destination. There is no end goal. Like, for me anyway, I don't have an end goal. I don't have a place to where I'm gonna say I can stop being the best person I can be every day. So it's all about, growing, getting better, having good habits to continue to be better.
Constant evolution.
It don't stop. Progress has no destination.
Man, I like that, man. I'm going to be honest with you. You've inspired me today.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to do that for you.
I'm not going to lie. I owe you for that one. Hey, before we end this episode, you guys go search for Diamontè Tucker-Dorsey for all your real estate needs. Seriously. He may be young, he may be green in it, so to speak, if that's what people, but the guy's going to give you an educated experience, and he is going to, I guarantee you, well, I'll let him speak on this. I'd really give this guy a chance because I've got a feeling you're going to enjoy the experience.
I would try my best to make sure that you do, but like he said, yes, I am young, but at the same time, I understand, and I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and I have the resources to get you the answers to anything that you need, and I'm going to take the stance of, coming from a place of understanding and education. And I understand that the process of real estate and, purchasing homes and selling homes is a very stressful process. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. So, try to nurture you through that as best as possible and, get you to your next goals and get whatever out of the situation that you want out of it. So
that's well said. Honesty and knowing who you are, and that's who Tuck is. And, if anything, I hope what they got out of this episode is to hopefully generate some leads for clients, number one. Number two, to be inspired by, if there are people who are my age or in between, you should be inspired by this young gentleman. I mean, he's got his head on his shoulders right. And I'm not saying none of us will ever figure it out, but you're ahead of schedule, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. But like you just said, I don't got to figure it out. I just understand that.
You understand a lot.
Yeah, I try to.
We're going to catch up at a tailgate. I'm almost positive.
I'm gonna be
no
out
doubt. No doubt. What do you want to tell all of the they're not all Longhorn fans listening, but what do you want to tell the Longhorn fans? Is there one little hand sign or anything you want to show them or say to them?
Tell them hook them.
Hey, for Tuck and the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hards, Big Mike, and Coach Mo, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.